up, my people? Jeremy here, your host with the Next Level Teaching Podcast. And I'm excited to be here with my super dope co-host, Miss Tori Rodriguez, a.k.a. T-Rod. What's up?
Hey, Jay.
How you feeling?
I'm doing good. How are
Yeah,
you?
man, I'm good. We got Miss Kim Daniels in the
Yes.
building. What's up?
Super
What's up?
excited.
Thank you.
How you feeling?
Thank you. I'm wonderful. Wonderful.
Good.
Thank you for having me.
Oh, for
You're
sure.
so welcome. I'm super excited to get to know you and to get to know a little bit about your story.
Oh, yeah.
But before we hop in and get to know Kim,
Yeah.
Jay, why don't you let everyone know who we are here
Look,
at Next
y'all
Level
here.
Teaching?
At the Next Level Teaching Podcast, we want you to laugh, learn, and live your best life
Yep.
and learn out the classroom. And so
Living
we're
our
here with
best
you all
life.
every single week. And we only want to add value. We want to give you something to rock with, you know what I'm saying, something to listen to, something to vibe with when you're heading into school or you're coming out of it. You know what I'm saying? We want to just help you go to the next level. So that's what we're all about. And we're glad that you all are rocking with us today. And do me a favor. If you like what you listening to and you're a faithful listener, it would be amazing if you wrote us a review and left us, you know what I'm saying, maybe 5 stars to show us some love. Let us know you picking up what we putting down. You know what I'm saying?
That's the best thing. 5.
Yeah, 5 of them,
5.
please. Yeah, like if you like, y'all straight, then we don't want no review. But if you really feeling the energy that we giving you educators, come on, holler at us. Give us a 5-star review and let us know that you feeling the podcast. That'd be great.
Yes.
Yes.
And don't forget to share it with your friends. Now is the
Please.
time when we need to be hearing from other teachers
Absolutely.
for sure.
Absolutely.
So I want to hop on in.
Yes.
Miss Kim Daniel has been teaching for 13 years public school, but then 5 years higher ed.
Yes.
So
As a director of financial aid.
yes. So she went from all the way at the top to making her way back into public education, and now you are an administrator.
Yes, I am in administration.
Okay.
So yes, I am a part of the leadership team, and I work with teachers and helping them make sure their voice is heard from inside the classroom. So I'm like that middleman in between the leaders of the school and the teachers. So again, I give them their voice. I make sure their voice is heard.
You're
love
helping
it.
right hand
Yes.
meet left hand, which is what I like to say so often when there is that disconnect. That's the joke between
Yes.
some of my colleagues and myself when that doesn't happen. So goodness knows we need someone like you in my school.
I love it.
And then you also taught high school entrepreneurship.
Yes.
And then some business classes as well,
Yes.
which we were talking about how important that is
Super important.
to have kids learning actually about money before they step out into the real world, because let's be honest, that doesn't happen enough.
Correct.
And we like to say that our math classes are helping students with that real world application, but let's be honest, as a math teacher, it ain't. And so I love that you were really teaching something that was truly applicable that kids could step out of school and into life with.
Yes, and not necessarily out of school, but while in school.
Yes.
Still
Yeah.
starting their businesses while they are in school.
I love that.
Changing their family line from within the school system,
Wow.
from what's inside that classroom, starting
Yeah.
it up, and not only just influencing, those that are around them, their peers, but influencing their family members.
Yeah.
And so it starts a true legacy from within the classroom.
Wow.
I love it. I love it. Now, how did you get there? We always love to hear how people got to a point where they decided to answer the call. Because here at Next Level Teaching, we don't believe that being an educator is just a career or an occupation. Like, this is a calling.
Yes.
So what made you make that transition into the classroom?
Being in education it's rooted in my family. My sisters were educators, so aunts, everybody. When I was in elementary school, my aunt was a teacher, and so she was in the same school. So it's always been in our family. I believe what really happened was when I advanced to director of financial aid. And so I'm sitting on this side of the desk. I was always involved in my own kids. I have 5 kids of my own. And, I was always involved in the school, making sure I'm at parent-teacher meetings. Wherever they were, I was. So you see it from that side of the desk as a parent. But then when you start to go into higher ed and what we are producing from within schools, and it comes there, they have the academic GPA to get there, but there is so much more to being successful in school. And then in college, and then I'm sitting there and I'm looking at parents like literally sign their life away on student loans.
Wow.
Kids signing their life away just to be at this particular school because, they heard about this or they want to go here. And it was just, I felt like I was doing a disservice. And so in my mind, I was like, okay, I'm going to go back and I'm going to fix this before it gets there. So that, I didn't want to continue to contribute to the student loan debt. I wanted to make sure families were understanding that if you're going to college, make sure it's the right college.
Yep.
Make sure you're going for the right reasons.
Yep.
You might not even necessarily go to a 4-year. That might not be your plan. I had people coming to school that wanted to be photographers.
Why?
Like, why are you here?
Yeah.
Right.
Thank you.
Why are you here?
Thank you.
So those types of things. So making sure it was starting from not even just high school, but elementary, middle, that we're preparing for that path for you to choose the right way for you. And not just because the world says I have to have this 4-year degree. The world says I have to do this to be successful.
Parents.
Yeah, my parents.
Yeah.
I'm trying to, live somebody else's legacy. Maybe
Yeah.
they didn't get it.
Yes,
and so they're
there
going to
it
live
is.
it through their children.
Yes.
So just righting those wrongs. So that
Yeah.
was the reason why.
Ain't that the truth?
Wow. So what do you love most about being in the position that you're in now?
Coming out of the classroom, I was never ever just in the classroom in
Right.
any role that I've ever played. I've always worked hand in hand with whatever administration I was working under, because I'm not one of those that sit back and complain about a situation. If I see a situation, I'm going to try to find a solution.
Yeah.
And so I always worked on the committees. I always worked with the school improvement council or whatever to make sure, again, that the teachers' voices were heard, making sure that not only were they just sending down everything through the pipeline and we're just supposed to implement it, but that they would see it from the other side of the classroom, that, this may work or this may not work. So it was that type of situation that just helped me move or transition on in, because every administrator that I've ever worked under always knew my passion was to be in admin. Because I felt like, yes, my classroom was just doing the bomb, and my kids were in. I mean, you've been to one of my schools before. My kids were exposed to everything.
Energy.
How are your kids in there in the
Energy.
gym, and Jeremy Anderson is in there with your kids? Why are they on this podcast? Why are they on this, this show?
Right.
And it's because I love to bridge the outside world with the school. There's this misconcept that teachers don't want the people on the outside in, and then people on the outside don't want to be in the school. And that's not true.
Right.
Yeah.
That's not true at all. And so I've always had that bridge. I've always had those relationships with people to make sure I bridge that gap. And so administrators like that too. They're like, everybody.
Right.
How do you know everyone? But I think I just link up with people who have kindred spirits, who want to help kids,
Absolutely.
Yeah.
who want to build community, who want to fix what's going on that's not conducive to a child being able to go out and make this world a better place.
Yeah.
And so being an admin, that's what I really love about it, because, again, I'm that bridge from the teacher to the admin, and they consider us, assistant principals right now. So it's a great position to learn and not have to be the one that has all the responsibility right now.
Right.
So I can voice my opinion. I can say hey, now, that's a great idea.
But in reality, that ain't gonna work. You ain't been in the classroom. You might want to step in and try that first.
Yeah. And then, you get in the meetings with the teachers and the department meetings, the PLC meetings. And again, they just get to not necessarily vent, but they get to get a lot of pressure off of them to me. And then we find that workaround for me to be able to take it to admin, and admin is able to listen. So I love that position.
Because you're able to be a voice for them.
Yes.
Because
Yeah.
a lot of teachers feel like they're voiceless. They feel like
Yep.
the administration doesn't really understand. They're not really being heard. But you're that one that says, okay, let me take these concerns and share it with them. And at the same time, okay, I know y'all are not happy about what they just put in place, but these are some things here
And
to
this is
kind of,
why.
it's like you're like that gap to bring about that unity.
Yes. Yeah.
Because what the enemy wants is division.
Right.
Amen.
You to be mad at you to be mad at you, and then the kids suffer. So I feel like your role is very key and important, because it's helping for both sides to be heard, so that student achievement can rise.
Correct.
Because at the end of the day, that's what it's all about.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
And my principal, she's very forward thinking, and she's very strategic about doing those things, especially right now during our COVID, and we have virtual learning going on.
You
And
better be
so
forward
she's
thinking.
huge on
Yeah.
SEL.
Yeah.
So, social emotional learning to make sure, okay, not only are our kids okay, but our teachers are okay.
Tell her to holler at us.
So, yeah, so she's very big on
We got
that.
some resources in the
She's
SEL for
very,
students and teachers.
we spent all last Friday as an admin team out in our community. We're knocking on doors. We're surprising teachers.
I
We're
love
surprising
it. Come
kids.
on.
I mean, you wouldn't think perfect attendance is a big thing, but perfect attendance in virtual school,
Yes, it is
that's
everything.
huge right now. So we shouted out our kids for that as well. So
That's
we
awesome.
took balloons. We were just out in neighborhoods knocking on doors.
That's beautiful.
Yes.
Next level. That's next level
Yes.
teacher right there. That's rich. So tell us about because every educator has like that one student that almost broke them. And we say almost because you're still here, you know what I'm saying? Like, so tell us about like that one student that just got on your last nerve. Like you wish they was your kids so you could take them home and whoop their butt. And then, you know what I'm saying? And then did you get a breakthrough with that kid? Talk about it.
So there have been several in my years because I've always worked in a high poverty area, Title I, something to that effect. And so you build relationships with those kids because they may seem hard, but they just really want somebody to love on them.
Amen.
Right.
And I was one of those people where I guess, having raised my own kids and understood that, they may hate you today in the word, but they really love you, no matter how, hard you put down the hammer. And so there's these two kids right now. They're both in college. One is at North Carolina A&T right now. The other one is at FAMU.
Okay.
But we had no idea how they were going to get to either, because of who they were when I met them in 9th grade. And I was very fortunate to be able to bring in a program that I have in my nonprofit already and bring it into the school system where I was a couple of years ago. And so it was bridging kids from middle school to high school effectively because, you just like lump a bunch of kids in high school and just expect them to fly. And you're coming from middle school where we have teams and where we have like, academies and everybody's watching you. And then we just dump them in a high school.
You're like, good luck.
And you're supposed to swim. And so, I had this program and I put it in, and there was these two particular kids. And one of them, I was big on organizational skills and young men, organization. I've raised two sons myself. And so young men and organization, the book bag, the locker.
We call it the black hole.
Yes. OMG.
We call it the black hole.
Oh my goodness. And so just like having to get one of them. And I can remember I would give like notebook tests. It was just to me, if you had all your notes, if you had everything where it was going, you're going to be fine.
But
so here he pulls stuff out. He's just pulling papers everywhere, nothing in order.
Shove it in there.
And so, I just saw the look of defeat on his face. It was to me, it was funny because they know I laugh pretty much at everything. But I laugh inside. But to see him on that test, and it was just crazy. And I have a personal relationship with most of my kids and their parents, and so I was able to text mom like, "Your son is struggling right now." And it is so funny. And she, we had that great relationship. But to see him transform from that one semester in the skills class, to who he is now and over those 4 years. His mom even says it's a transformation she's never seen before. And so like he's, playing basketball in college and it's amazing because basketball was all he knew from a kid, and to be able to tell him about a GPA that it's going to take for you to get to the collegiate level. NCAA clearinghouse that they don't hear about probably until their senior year when it's too late. There's 16 core classes that you got to have a GPA in order to get to where you want to be. So just exposing them early about that helped. And then his best friend, who also is like one of my sons now, had to go in totally a different route to get to FAMU, but he's there. And so that's one of the biggest things that I love. They drove me crazy, but they became my sons that first semester of 9th grade, and they're still my sons now.
And so what I find is interesting is you had them their freshman year. Were they in your class sophomore, junior, senior year?
One came back his junior year from our entrepreneurship pathway. Right. But that was it.
And so to all the educators out here, like that should serve as some inspiration, right? You have these kids, 7th grade, 6th grade, 3rd grade, 10th grade, but you don't know how they're going to end up in the end, right? That's why we talk about teaching by faith and not by sight. You do the absolute best you can. You love on them. You encourage them. You affirm them. You redirect them. You bring them to that glorious light. Yes. But you can't make them do nothing. You do the absolute best you can, but you have faith that next educator not going to be average. They're not going to be regular. They're going to be on that next level. Right. And then we look up, and then they can be at the FAMUs and at the A&Ts and the schools, et cetera, from there.
Correct.
That's awesome.
It's, it's about knowing your role. Some people are going to, till the ground and get it ready. Some people are going to bring the water. Some people, to plant seeds. Food, whatever it is. You just play your role in that child's life for that particular time and make sure you're always speaking to that child's future. Not what you see in front of you that day, because none of us are who we were.
Amen.
Yeah. Listen to me.
Jay, know
That's
about
a fact.
that.
I was a terror. But I like that. You say some gonna get the land, some gonna till the land, some gonna cultivate it, gonna plant the seeds, put the hay on top, water it, all of that. But you know who reaps the harvest? It's the community as a whole. Because if I'm a farmer and I got corn on my land. I'm gonna give you something to you. I'm gonna give something to you. We all gonna break bread, right? And so I feel like we're doing that work, but the community as a whole, you know what I'm saying? When we grow and we raise and we train and we prepare citizens to come back and contribute to society, that's what makes it all worth it.
Yes.
I love it. So we talked about some of them kids like that. Now tell us about maybe your almost breaking point. You know what I'm saying, Tori? Like that moment where you almost was like, and oftentimes it's not students. We found from the people we interview, sometimes it's like administrators, like get them to the point where it's like, you know what, I ain't signed up for this. I'm finna be out. Like tell us, share one of those moments with us.
Probably within the last 2 years. And it has nothing to do with COVID or anything like that. But when you know in your heart that you're supposed to be in a particular position and you're supposed to move on to your next level but doors seem to close in your face. I was working at a particular school and I interviewed for a position. Everybody in the school knew I was supposed to get the position. It was so favorable, and then out of nowhere here comes somebody from a totally different school. And just comes in out of the blue, and not that she wasn't great at what she did.
Right.
However, she had to build the relationships with the whole school staff. She had to build a relationship with the parents, the community, the kids,
and yet
everybody.
You had all of that, and they could have pulled from within them.
And so, it was a shaking point for me at one time. At one point, and I thought maybe admin was not going to be for me. And then, but God is good. God always has a plan, and it might not necessarily align with my timing and where I'm supposed to be, because I probably shouldn't have been at that school as long as I was anyway. So when somebody seeks you out for a position that you didn't even know was out there, and things start to roll and to go into place for you, then you know it's all God. And so you continue to trust. And so it wasn't like I was going to leave education, but I think at one point my hopes for being an admin might have gone a little bit different. But I'm so glad to be an admin where I am now because of the community that is being built from within that school.
Had he not kept you from getting that position, then you wouldn't be where you are now. And I love how good he is in that. And I think that there are so many educators out there that feel that way right now with COVID.
Yes.
I know I'm one of those where I'm like, Lord, you are trying me right now, and I feel like you are pushing me out of something and into something else, but I don't know what, because this is the hardest thing I have ever done in my life.
It is.
And this is not what I want, and this is not fun. And he's like, I know, but you don't see what I got coming. So you just hold on.
Just hold on.
And you just keep going.
Just hang in
because
there.
I'm trying to strengthen you. I'm trying to build something in you. And in that time, we learned so much about his character and who we are in him, if we're willing to stay faithful in those moments and persevere, because it truly does build strength and character within us.
Yes.
I love your testimony in that of just, I hear you laughing at me over here. Stop laughing at me.
And you know what's crazy? Because my ADD, I am already preparing to have the conversation that I know we got to have soon. But at the same time, I'm rejoicing because
I know.
I be asking God, like, man, just that door look good. If you don't want me to go through, I really want to go through that door. But if you got something else, like, close it.
Yes.
And I feel like that's where your faith got activated. You know what I'm saying? And it closed, but another one opened up, and here we are today.
Correct.
Yeah, that's rich.
It makes, and I've
so
been
mad
there.
at
I only did COVID teaching.
Just throwing water bottles.
Right,
It's
right,
fine.
right.
That's
Just
how mad
toss it.
I am about it.
Toss the bottles around here.
If y'all just listening, y'all should tune into the YouTube, because my face right now is just priceless.
love
I'm
it.
so annoyed by this conversation, because God's just like, hey,
Conviction.
I'm talking
Conviction.
to you. Yes.
Right. And I only did COVID teaching during when it was crisis teaching.
Yeah.
When we ended last year. And so we were just trying to hold on.
Right,
We're just trying to make sure everybody just stayed afloat the best you could. But to be a teacher, and this is your lifestyle right now, this is your new normal, I think it's painful for everybody, but I couldn't imagine being a teacher right now without a supportive administration.
Yeah.
And that's where I am. I'm so blessed to be there, because I taught with so many teachers across Georgia, across South Carolina, because I've taught in both and I still have relationships with them. And for some of them that don't have an administrator that understands that this is like the craziest time ever in administration and in education. They just continue to pile on responsibilities, pile on, do this, we'll do this today, we'll do this tomorrow, and whatever. And they don't ever go in there and see how hard it is to teach to black screens. When you can't even get your kids to turn on the screen, but I got to keep this vibe, I got to keep this energy, and I got to keep everybody in tune and make sure, okay, if they do cut on, the camera, who knows what I might see, what's happening or whatever. Yeah. And then I got to check on that kid that, was there on Monday, but he's been gone Tuesday and Wednesday. So I got to follow up with them. Right. Yeah. So nobody really understands that again. So you have to be an administrator. Right. You have to be a part of a leadership team that understands that our teachers are human too. Right. Yes. They're going through right now. Yes. They are going through right now.
Let me tell you why I'm laughing. And this is going to sound like I made this up, but God knows I ain't lying. I did a professional development. It was more like a motivational training for a school district about maybe a month ago. And I talked to the superintendent. She was just like, can you just really stress to the teachers the importance of them having their screen on when they teach? And I was like,
hold, please.
I was like, you
that's
mean
the important thing?
For them to make sure that the kids, she was like, no. A lot of our teachers are rebellious. They don't understand. They're saying, oh, I got to wake up and put makeup on. And I was just like, you've got to be kidding me. Like, it's so, like, you know what I'm saying? Like, it's like we talking about, I need my kids to cut their screen on. Yeah. But to know that there's a lot of teachers that's like, really? I mean, they could hear my voice. That just blew my mind.
No.
And so when you say a lot of teachers are struggling, that tells me they really in such a fragile mental space where they don't even want to cut their own camera on. It's just like, okay, boo-boo, you dealing with some stuff.
Well, and truly that could potentially, now there are some times where I'm like, to me, that I kind of am like, it's your job. Like, turn your camera screen on. But there have been times where I've had, in
your PJs?
No, but where I've had an anxiety attack, and so my face is splotchy and red.
Yeah.
And so, and now 10 minutes later, I have to go teach a class online, and you have to show kids your face, and so that's hard. And I still do it. I still, because I think it's important for our kids to know where we are as adults as well, and that we are human beings, and that we see and feel. We just had conferences this past week, and talking to so many parents about, your child has been in and out of class, and like they log on to Zoom every day, but then they're not like actually sitting at their chair, or their camera's not on, and hearing them talk about what their kids are going through, and that it's the same thing that I'm going through. Yes. And I know this, but to hear it from individuals really just made it so real. Right. And it just broke my heart, and it really just reminded me that we all truly do need grace in this time, the teachers included, but we also have to give kids the grace as well. And so I try and remind my kids to turn on their camera, honestly, but there are some days where I can understand why maybe they don't want to. And then some days also, I don't have the strength to fight that battle.
Correct.
Facts.
And that is
definitely true.
And you have to pick and choose what are the important things. And yes, there are times where I'll turn my camera off just to prove a point of how would you feel if I taught like this the whole entire class. That's how I feel sometimes.
Then you have a student like me to be like, I ain't tripping. Right. Well, that's real though.
So that they can understand, or I like push the camera all the way up like this so they can only see my forehead, because I get so many of those. I can tell some kids by their name, like who they are, by the ceiling.
Yes.
Or by, like their wall color, their paint color. I know exactly who it is, not what their face is. And I tell them why I want to see their face, because I want to know who you are. Yeah. I want to make a connection, a relationship with you, even in this weird pandemic teaching. I still have relationships with my kids in the midst of this.
We have to.
We have to, because they need it.
And they struggling just as much during the season as well.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? A lot of their parents are home a whole lot more, which causes more irritation, more frustration, more of them getting their butts whipped. You know what I'm saying? Like they needed that getaway to come to to come to school, to maybe get that balanced meal, or just to have that safe place where there's some type of system and structure. It's a lot. What word would you give if you gave to any teacher that needed a word of like encouragement, like it's gonna be all right? Like what would you tell them today?
Ooh. If I had to stand before a group of teachers right now and look them in their eyes, the only thing I could tell them is breathe.
Yeah, straight up.
That would be the only thing, daily, that self-care is so important. A group of teachers that I used to teach with, when COVID was just going crazy, we just decided to turn news off.
Oh, please.
We turned the news off. We stopped looking at the numbers or anything, the calculations about what was going to happen.
That
And
will
we
mess you
literally
up.
started climbing mountains every single Sunday.
Yes.
So we would alternate between Stone Mountain, where it would like almost kill us on that Sunday to get to the top, and then Kennesaw Mountain. We would just go back and forth, back
Bro,
and
you
forth.
going up the wrong side of Kennesaw Mountain if that ain't killing you.
It's not as bad as Stone Mountain.
The steep side of
Yes.
Kennesaw Mountain, though?
We take the road.
We go
I'm coming up
Yes.
Oh,
on the rough side.
That's my song.
The mountain. Y'all crazy. Hey, but when you look at,
Yeah.
like, they do need to take a moment and just breathe, because
Breathe.
it is different
Yeah.
and it is heavy. I find myself telling a lot of them, like, it ain't gonna be perfect. If something crash, if you gotta reboot something,
It's
like,
okay.
man, it's gonna be all right.
Right.
You
It's
know what I'm
all
saying?
right.
Like, you're gonna be all right.
Don't strive for perfection in any of this. Don't try to overdo it. Don't try to be teacher of the year right now.
Right.
Just try to be a teacher who is present right now.
present.
Teacher of the
Yeah.
year right now.
That's
Yeah,
it.
every
I'm
teacher
talking about
is,
everybody need to get
definitely.
a certificate.
We-
We all get participation
Yes.
trophies.
Right.
I saw something, I was scrolling through social media the other day, and it said, perfectionism isn't a fruit of the spirit. Joy is.
Yikes.
Yes.
Yup.
Yikes.
Yes.
Say that one more. They missed
Yes.
it. For those in the back, Tori, say that one more time.
Perfectionism isn't a fruit of the spirit. Woo. Let me run that all the way back. Perfectionism isn't a fruit of the spirit. Joy is.
Yes.
And that I needed to hear that for myself as well, because I am such a perfectionist in general, but especially as a teacher, this is where I like grasp on to all that. And I got a student teacher this year.
Hold on. So love, joy, peace, kindness, goodness,
Yes.
long suffering, like these are the things.
Yes.
It never said perfection.
Yeah.
I promise you, when I read the scripture, it didn't say love, joy, perfection, peace. No, love, joy, peace, patience, kindness, gentleness, long suffering. Like, man, let's keep those fruits of the
Yes.
spirit
Yeah.
within us. You put forth the perfect effort. You do the best you can. We ain't saying being sloppy with it, but we're not finna be stressed.
Yeah.
We're not finna adopt the spirit of fear. We're gonna be positive. We're gonna be optimistic. We're gonna do the best we can. And before you even go into your lesson plan, take a moment, like Tori told us a few weeks ago, and ask your kids how they doing.
Yeah.
Yes. Be gentle with
That's
yourself.
it.
Yes.
Be gentle. You're doing the best you can right
Yes.
now. There's no textbook. There's no data.
No.
I mean, we're creating the textbook and the data in real life right now.
Yeah. We were joking as friends yesterday. We went up and did all the fall things, as we like to say, just being the most basic of girls, picking apples and all this stuff. But it felt so good for the soul. And we were joking about how years down the road, there are going to be kids in class that raise their hand. They're going to be in social studies and be like, excuse me, why are we spending a whole unit on 2020? And that's just the truth of it right now. And that's where we're at. We have Spirit Week coming up this week, and Friday is Superhero Day. And as teachers, we all decided not to dress up as Batman or Superman
We're
or
gonna dress
Wonder
up
Woman,
as teachers.
but dress up as someone that is a superhero in your life. So I'm going to be my grandmother. She was a security guard for the Olympics the day of the bombing, and I have her uniform. And when I sent the email out, I said, guys, some of you can just dress up as yourself,
Yes.
because we truly are being superheroes right now.
I love it. That's
We
rich.
are.
Yeah, that's rich, man. That's rich. Hey, so tell me this. If you could change one thing about the educational
yes.
system.
If I could change one thing, I do believe I would figure out a way to give more teachers a voice in some of these decisions. And I'm blessed to be in the school system I'm in right now and be at the school I am where teachers do have a voice. My principal has a true open door policy. It's not just in name, in theory, but she wants to hear from every teacher in this situation. What's going on? What can we solution?
Yeah.
Right.
So she listens and she hears, and we bring it all together. Like on Thursdays, we don't go in anybody's classroom through Zoom or anything. We get together as an admin team and we listen to one another. We throw the ideas out. We meet literally from 9 o'clock to sometimes 7 o'clock.
Yeah.
And we sit there and we hash out what's best for our kids, what's best for our teachers, what's best for our school as a whole, and with the understanding that we're coming back in the school system. So how are we going to transition out of this effectively too? So, we're forward planning with that. But, again, I wish that more schools gave their teachers that opportunity to participate and
They
to
say
be a
they do,
voice.
but they don't.
Yeah, and that would be the thing that I changed, to be able to make sure admin understands the power that they have in their buildings, the power that their teachers bring, because, again, we literally sit there with these kids day in, day out. We go through the lessons, we go through the classroom management, we know what our kids need. And that, like, we did our seniors, a celebration. So we had seniors passing all 4 classes because we're on a block. Okay. All 4 classes during this virtual learning, showing up, you're doing what you're supposed to. We celebrated them last week. And at the end, we want to hear their voice. So we gave them a survey. How do you want to be celebrated? How do you want to be acknowledged? What can we do for you? And a lot of times you're not asking your teachers that or your students that.
Yeah.
So making sure that, again, we're giving our teachers and our students a voice, because the ideas we came back with were priceless.
Wow.
Yeah. And it's all that they understand, that we're in a limited space. They understand there's no money. And so what they came back was all practical things that we could do for them.
I love it. I love it. I love it. All right. So look, are you ready for rapid fire?
Okay, I'm ready.
Yes.
I love it. Let's go then. Don't be nervous.
Okay.
We got a little button we press. If you get one wrong, the flow gonna open up.
Yeah,
We
okay.
gone. All right, let's do it. You ready, Tori?
Let's do it.
All right, let's go.
All right, say a word in Spanish.
Hola.
Facts.
What's your favorite car?
Ooh, the one that I have now, Dodge Challenger.
Oh,
come on with it.
nice. Oh, I'm excited to hear this one. Have you ever slapped someone in the face?
No, I haven't. Have I ever wanted to?
Oh,
Yes.
I'm trying to tell you.
What is your favorite carnival food?
Ooh, funnel cakes.
Oh, yes.
Absolutely.
Dang, that sounds so good.
Yeah, I'm hungry now.
Would you ever go to a movie alone?
Oh, I do that all the time.
I
That's right.
figured. I love that. What is your favorite city in the United States besides the one that you live in, if that even is?
Probably Sacramento.
Oh, okay. What is the fastest speed you've ever driven in a car?
Ooh, is this going
Yeah,
to...
tell the
okay,
truth, shame the devil.
Probably like 160.
Oh, wow. What was you driving?
My Challenger.
Okay, then.
Was it in America?
It was in America.
Wow.
Okay, wait, I got one more.
Okay,
I got
okay,
one more.
okay.
What does a person need to be happy?
Ooh, peace.
Come on with it.
Peace.
Come on with it. Come
Give
on
me
with
peace
it.
all day long.
Yeah.
Amen.
Man, Kim, thank you so much for what you do.
Yeah.
Welcome.
Thank you for your heart. Congratulations on your
Thank
new
you.
position.
Thank you.
I'll never forget when we was filming the live Next Level Student
Yes.
video scene with the live studio audience, but I had to
Yes.
see that video. I think it was fire. That thing was super dope. But I'm glad you're in that position. I feel like they have the right one that will help, kind of bridge the gap between the administration and the teachers. And so I love it. And anything that we could do to support you, let us know.
Will do.
Thank you for coming on.
You're
and,
welcome.
and thank you for being that voice for teachers.
Thank you.
Because from someone that at times has felt like she hasn't had that voice, or my voice when I have had it has gone just unheard, I think that is so unbelievably important. So thank you from so many teachers out there.
Yeah. Yep. Keep doing what you do, and however we can help you, we got your back. And look, y'all leave us a review. I know you like this episode. You know what I'm saying? So show us some love, and we'll see y'all next week.
Bye, guys.
Peace.